It's official. The Portland Trailblazers are the hottest team in the NBA. Like it's not even a joke right now. Like I've gotten texts from a couple of scouts over the last 4 or 5 days of like, hey, last time I saw you in like November, December, it was pretty miserable. How does it feel to be there watching the hottest team in the league? And it's said with a little bit of tongue in cheek, but they're also like, you guys are playing really well up there. And there's a couple caveats. It's a young athletic team.
Mm-hmm.
It's February basketball, and you're getting close to the trade deadline. And yes, you have played some teams that are in a funk.
8 of the last 9, they've won.
Mm-hmm.
7 of those wins have come against teams that are in playoff position. Tonight, the second of a back-to-back after a game you go into overtime against the Phoenix Suns, going up against a Pacers team that is currently sitting 4th in the East and has won 4 games in a row in their own right. Like, this is going to be, all right, we'll kind of see what happens. Remember, the loss was to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes, by 10. It was a relatively close game until the final minutes.
But it still was decided by double digits, and that's kind of where this team is at. But they are playing good basketball right now, and it really is the guy who has been really the anchor of what they've been doing is a guy who was unplayable. You see Channing Frye?
He did. Channing gave DeAndre Ayton his love. For everybody who asked me, who's Channing talking about? It was DeAndre.
We all knew who he was talking about.
The
it
fact
was
that
DeAndre Ayton.
the people didn't know that. It was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. But DeAndre Ayton has been playing lights out, and last night he was absolutely incredible. He was 25 points, 20 rebounds. We went through this early in the show. It's only been done 11 other times in franchise history, and he becomes the 7th person ever to do it.
And Dusty and I, when we got to the break, we both did the same thing. We started looking at career all-time rebounding leaders for the Trailblazers, and we went, wow, this hasn't been done more often. But
yeah, the crazy part about it is the guys who've done the 25 and 20, which is what DA did last night, right? LaMarcus Aldridge did it 5 times. Zach Randolph did it twice.
The Randolph only doing it twice was the one that got me because that man was a rebounding monster.
But Jerome, Buck, Sabas, and Nurk are the only other guys to do it. And DeAndre Ayton added his name to that list. That's incredible.
No Bill Walton, no Mo Lucas,
no Rasheed Wallace.
And again, I know Greg only played 82 games, but I'm still surprised Greg didn't get one because when he did stuff, he was like 15 and 12.
Yeah, yeah,
he was a freaking monster on the glass.
And that kind of highlights how special the night was last night that DeAndre Ayton had. The one thing that I think everybody has been wanting to see, and it's still the biggest question mark, DeAndre Ayton. When he is playing the way that he is right now, you know exactly why he was drafted number 1 overall. You know why he was the number 1 recruit in the country coming out of high school. This is who DeAndre Ayton can be. But consistency is the bane of his existence is that his highs are as high as they possibly can be. His lows, they get down to the cellar. And can you keep the highs at a high level for an extended period of time? He hasn't proven that over his career. That's what you want to see with every other guy on this roster, though, because it's kind of the sticking point with everybody in Portland right now. It's why nobody expected them to, pass that threshold of 25 wins,
and
which they're almost to.
I'm just now seeing a stat here. I've given 2 players probably the lion's share of the credit for this run, and it's DA and Toumani. You know which 2 players have the highest plus-minus over the last 9 games?
DA and Toumani?
Yep. DA has a plus 17. Toumani Camara has a 13.8.
They've been really damn good.
Again, DA's only played in 6 of the last 9 because he missed a couple games with the knee injury. In those 6 games, the Blazers are 6-0. DA is averaging 22 and 13.
That seems good.
On 61% shooting from the floor.
That seems really good.
In those 9 games, DeAndre Ayton is their leading scorer, but Denny Avdia is averaging 19. Anthony Simons is averaging 19. Shaedon Sharpe is averaging 14. Jeremy Grant is averaging 14. Scoot Henderson is averaging 14. Toumani Camara is averaging 13. That is 7 players giving you double figures.
Yeah.
Okay? The other thing that you need to look at, Denny Avdia is shooting 51% from the floor, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Anthony Simons is shooting 40% from 3, giving you 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Shaedon Sharpe is shooting 42, 37, 81, giving you 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Jeremy Grant is shooting 40% from 3, and his box score stuff is never going to jump out at you, but his defense has been otherworldly. I've talked to opponents over the last couple of games and no, JG's locked in. Scoot Henderson shooting 46, 40, 82, giving you 14, 6, and 3.
Not bad.
You're getting production up and down the roster. And the thing that I will always hammer home, it's nice when you have 7 guys that can do this. You still need one guy that can ring the bell every single night. But for right now, the guy that is ringing the bell for them every single night is DeAndre freaking Ayton.
Yeah, and I think that this is the issue, though, and we talked about this earlier, is that this is all fine and dandy, but it will never get you over a hump.
No.
And that is where I understand the criticisms of what is the direction right now? Because developing these young guys, if that's going to be the direction, you're going to be stuck. In that's a tough spot to be in for fans.
The thing that I will say with regard to that is that for all of the young guys playing that people think they'll win games, I'm telling you right now, if you take Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton off this team and you sit them down, they will lose a lot of games. I just mentioned your 2 basically leading scorers are Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton. And it's your leading rebounder and it's your leading creator. You take those guys off, they will struggle. They will struggle mightily.
No doubt.
Like, will they win some games? Yeah, they will, because Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Denny Avdia, Toumani Camara, they can get hot.
Yeah.
This is an interesting text. Is there any chance that the recent success of Portland is due to the fact that Denny and Toumani are much better than we thought 40 games ago?
Yes.
Yeah, but also this is what they thought when they got Denny Avdia. The thing that I said that he was going to probably do when given the time and the run out and like what I expected from him was 18, 8, and 5. 18, 8, and 5. It's the same line that I have said Scoot Henderson at his best. With Denny, it's 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. With Scoot Henderson, it's 18 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. That's what they're looking at from Denny. And again, Denny right now is averaging 19, 7, and 4.
And that's exactly what you want. You want to see development. You want to see growth. And as bad as it is right now that they are not going to have the best odds. They're not even going to be in the top 5 best odds to get Cooper Flagg, Harper, Bailey, any of those guys.
Diakos Jonas, I mean,
they're not going to be there.
Well, they're not going to have the odds.
They're not going to have the odds to be there.
Yes.
The reality of it is that they weren't going to suck to a magnitude that the Wizards or the Utah Jazz were going to, regardless.
No, that was always the case. They were never going to be that bad.
But to not be in a situation where your lottery odds, because we've talked about this, the drop off from 6 to 7, 7 to 8,
5 to 7, it's pretty significant.
It's
not even just the number 1 pick odds; it's the top 4 pick odds,
and that's where you want to be at.
Yes.
And this run is in all likelihood costing them the odds there. That's not to say they can't do it. What happened last year with Atlanta?
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
But it makes it harder.
This run is it feels weird like qualifying this. This run is more believable and more like you feel like you're getting more out of it than the games early. I will go back to this when it's all said and done. The run I will blame is not this run.
It's early in the year.
It's early in the year where they got 5 wins that nobody expected them to get when they weren't playing good. The teams that they played, the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, number one, the Pelicans had nobody. And then the Timberwolves playing like absolute dog poo. They got wins in a period that no one expected, nor should they have gotten. And that's where I will die on that hill, because if they have 5 less wins right now, where are they? They're right in the pack with everyone else. But
they got
the wins. But like that's the one where I go, the luck gods win against you in those games when you're talking about draft lottery.
Well, that's why I hope the basketball gods will shine brightly on the Portland Trailblazers for playing hard right now, and they will shine on them in May.
This is not coming from the organization.
Because I'm hoping.
This is coming from the outside in, from other people in the NBA, of like, do you think the Blazers have like this thing about superstition in that they've been so egregious in their tanking over the last couple of years and it hasn't worked out for them, that maybe they can appease the basketball gods by just doing what you need to do and being responsible with your development and letting the cards fall where they may?
Nothing else is working, so why not?
Like this is something that people from other teams have asked me, and I'm like, I don't think anybody is organizationally that superstitious, but I would not put it out of the realm of possibilities.
Little stitious?
Like a little, yeah. mildly stitious,
Yeah.
medium stitious,
Yeah.
not superstitious.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a tiny bit of stitious. And this goes to what Nico Harrison said yesterday, right? In the Luka Doncic trade press conference, or I guess he said it on Sunday, but we had the audio yesterday. He said the easy thing is to just sit back and not do anything. And we decided we were going to make a big move. For the Portland Trailblazers,
I don't think you want to do that.
For the Portland Trailblazers, would it behoove them to maybe pull that page out of Harrison's playbook and say, short term, it will not help us, but in the long run, we feel like there will be a guy, young pieces, young players, that we trade, and it does not help us this year because that's not really the goal right now, but in the long run, it can. Because we saw it took, 40 games for Denny Avdia to really start clicking and move, and that was a move that they gave up. They gave up some assets, right?
100%.
Brogdon, 14th pick.
2 firsts and 2 seconds. Yeah.
Now, you go and you do something along those lines, maybe not that much freight, but you give a young, promising player who is actually playing really well right now. I don't know what that looks like. And you say, we're banking on this future because we know with the core that we have, with the guys that we have right now, we're not getting over the hump, and none of them are the star.
And as a reminder, and this is not me going to bat for the organization. You guys, they did not get out. They did not go public. The Blazers and the Wizards talked about Denny Avdia at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
The Blazers were not comfortable with dealing that pick at that point in time. They wanted to see kind of where things were because it was up in the air and it could have ended up 5th, 6th, or 7th, and it has more value at that point in time.
Yeah.
So even in a down draft, they wanted to make sure they knew kind of where the odds laid. And when they got done with it, they came back to the Wizards and they got a deal that made sense for both sides, and they got Denny Avdia.
Okay.
So, look, I want them to make a move.
I do too.
Thursday or by Thursday. I don't think they will. So, but the Portland Trailblazers do take on the Indiana Pacers, and can they keep it going? I guess we can kind of dive in that to.
Well, no, I got another thought.
You get another thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you see Rob Pelinka today?
Oh, the suit?
We need to talk about
okay.
Rob Pelinka.
We'll talk about that next.
We need
Next
to talk
here on
about it.
Danny Dusty, Danny the Fan.